Unfortunately, I can't video the process that I just did because there was no light in here. I turned my nasty looking workshop into a dark room. I had all the windows blacked out. I had all the cracks, all the little LED lights from the computer and stuff blacked out. So the room was completely dark. I got this. It's some special Kodak film. It says high speed. It is not high ISO though. I've read online that the SO-118 is actually ISO 80 or something like that. Anyway, I didn't know what was inside this canister, and it said open in the dark, so I was like, okay, it could just be an empty, film on a. It could just be film on one of these things, so the sides would be exposed and it would be bad. And I needed to put it on 100-foot daylight rolls for the Bolex. So what I did was I turned off all the lights and I opened this, and I found out that the film was actually on a bigger version of this. And I had read online that the film is single perforated and you have to make sure the perforation's on the right side. So they say transfer it to a reel and then move the reel over here and then transfer it to your little reels. So it was dark and I didn't know if the perforations were on there right or not. So that's what I did. It turns out this SO-118 film is actually double perforated. So I did an extra step. I could have just stuck this reel on that side and spooled it off onto those. But I took that and it went on 3.5 of these little black guys, and I put them in the film bag. So they're staying nice and dark. And with these rolls, you can change them in daylight because they have the black sides, but like subdued light, I think is what it said. Anyway, plan is I'm going to make this Bigfoot 1980s video, and I'm going to use the Bolex, and I'm going to use my Super VHS camcorder, and me and the actors, we're all going to go out probably to Eagle Beach, and we're going to film that where he was in the 1980s, and he was a Bigfoot researcher, and he was looking for Bigfoot out there. He filmed some Bigfoot footage, like the Patterson-Gilman footage of 1967 or 69 or whenever it was, but he filmed some footage like that, and it sets up the story for why the Bigfoot Trail is called the Bigfoot Trail, because of this footage that was filmed there in the 1980s. Look at this. It's so nice out. Anyway, on Monday, I'm filming my Bigfoot flashback. We're going to use the 16mm Bolex and the Super VHS camera, and we're going to mix them together, which is really kind of a weird experiment. 16mm camera might work, and the film's exposed, but it might work. And the Super VHS camera seems to work. As a backup, I'm going to mount this camera in parallel with each shot so that I have the iPhone footage that I can then make look like 16mm or VHS if I want. So Maddy and I are out here just because I'm all hyper and excited about this shoot, and it's kind of making me all sort of edgy. So we're gonna hike and just be mellow, and then we're just gonna go home and just pack gear and just get ready, and it's gonna be good. I meant to say not that the film is exposed, because that wouldn't work, but it's this weird SO-118 film that was designed, I guess, to take high-speed pictures of missile launches or something like that, and it expired, not exposed, but it expired in 1998. Now what that means is, I think, that the colors will probably be a little bit muted or faded, and also that there will be maybe some cosmic ray damage. But I think it'll add really nicely to the effect of an old movie of Bigfoot, right? So as you can see, my stuff is sitting here back in the house because it was raining and we were not able to film the 80s flashback Bigfoot expedition. I am also having a problem because my actor who was going to play Linda the Bigfoot researcher is only available Mondays, and the other cast members aren't available Monday, and I'm not really available Monday. So getting a new cast member to play Linda that's available on the weekends. And we basically have 2 weekends in September that I think we can do this. If not, then I will store or unpack all of this stuff, or a combination of both, and plan for next summer, which would be a bummer. I'd really love to shoot this fall. All right, go ahead, Max. This is my video transfer setup. I have the laptop with iTV installed, the iTV digitizing box, the solid state drive to put the files on, and the Super VHS camcorder that we just used in the Bigfoot flashback video. So now we rewind the tape, cross our fingers, hit play, and if it works, then it's transferred over to that solid state drive, which then I put into my storage array. Yay. So I went out and I filmed my Bigfoot expedition, and it was pretty awesome. But Brian, the actor in the center, got lost on his way there, and so we ended up starting about an hour late. So I was all messed up and wondering what we could get done, and kind of in a panic, and my shot list was looking crazy complicated. But anyway, we did it. The other problem that we had was the camera that you see here on Ira's shoulder. It's my 30-year-old Super VHS camcorder, and it quit working about halfway through the shoot. So I had to film some things like this shot with a cell phone. And the problem is that the cell phone doesn't really look like VHS. It's got a much better dynamic range in the sky, and everybody looks higher resolution and stuff. So I've got to dumb it down. Now here, this looks a little more like VHS. This is also with the cell phone, but what I did was I played with the dynamic range by clipping the highlights and darkening the shadows a little bit. So I think I'll do that. And then what I'm thinking about doing, actually, to make it totally look like VHS, is taping the screen with the VHS camcorder, which is now working, because then it'll really look like it was filmed with a camcorder, I hope. Because I have to match this footage with like this footage. This is from the camcorder, and it doesn't look too bad. Look at that. It's actually surprisingly good for a 30-year-old camera. Anyway, we will see. The finished product is on its way. But Brian was really good in this. He was just amazing. Lots of improv. And he really got into character. It was awesome. And everybody did really good too. So